Good morning, this is Mark Brown recording feedback for game balancing of July of 2018. This is recorded on 6/26/2018. Hey guys, how's it going? So this is going to be an unusual situation. This is not going to be the typical way I'm going to be presenting you guys videos. I want to explain what's going to go on first, so you guys have an idea what happens in the future, and then we'll go about the actual video itself. Typically what I'll be doing is I'll be giving you guys a individual video per team and go from there. But because this is the very first week and this is actually not a graded video, I want to go ahead and do a video for the entire class, just kind of showcasing everything going forward. And there's a couple things going on for that. One, it's a bit easier on me just to do a single video instead of doing multiple videos, so I'll admit to a bit of laziness in that aspect of it. But two, I also want you guys to take the opportunity to actually watch and view where your other teammates are sitting right now. Where do you stand in the group, and if you need to raise or lower that bar accordingly, right? Hopefully you can always be raising that bar. You need to remember here that these people that, while they're your classmates as well, they're also your competitors, right? These are the ones trying to get the same jobs you guys are going to be trying to get. And this whole class, this whole capstone product itself is about creating a portfolio piece. So because we're trying to create a portfolio piece of something we want you guys to get a job with, you need to see, okay, how do you rank up against your peers, right? So I'd like to recommend you guys do take a chance to actually view all that stuff. However, that being the case, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to post an actual time logs of, time codes for each team, so you guys can jump to those time codes and just specifically see your team if you want to. But like I said, I would recommend you guys do take the opportunity to at least browse through and see what the other games are doing right now, just so you can see where you guys stand in your team versus the other stand. Like, as I said, if you need to perhaps raise the bar a little bit. So, game balancing. What's going on with game balancing? What is this class all about? The next question probably will be asked about this. Well, first of all, game balancing is a continuation of the other capstone classes, right? So, whereas you had GDP, that was all about building the technical prototype of the game itself. Okay, what can we do? How are we going to do it? The next thing we're going to do with the next class, GSI, was all about, gameplay prototyping. Is it going to be fun to do this? What will we do to make this game fun? What is our game to make it a fun experience? Now, hopefully, you guys have got those lessons figured out. You guys now understand what your game needs to be. You guys can go from there and actually develop your game proper into the actual honest-to-God game it's going to be. But in this class, what I would like you guys to do is have your game done, with appropriate air quotes around done. Now, what I mean by that is I would like to be able to start and finish the game, an entire playthrough of that game, and say, here's what the gameplay experience is going to be 100%. Now then, that is the appropriate air quotes around done come with the fact that we're still not worrying about aesthetics at all in this class. We don't care what the game actually looks like. We don't care what the game actually sounds like. We want to make sure it sounds that it looks at something is showing up. But the actual quality of the work we don't really worry about right now. Because you guys are going to go into PNP 7 next month, and you guys hopefully next month, and hopefully things don't go bad this month, but if you go into PNP 7 next month, you guys will have the opportunity to say, now let's do something fine. Let's make the game look really good. Let's make the game sound really good. Let's polish the hell of that game and get you guys a month to actually work that game into the state it needs to be in, so that, it's there to present to what you want to do with it. Next thing we need to talk about is who the audience of this game has been, right? So up to this point, we'll let you guys kind of go willy-nilly with what you want to do here. We're building this game for children ages 12 to 14 or something along those lines, right? But honestly, no matter what you guys are doing, no matter what you guys are focusing your game towards now, there is one actual audience member we need to focus on the most. That's the person that you guys need to be having in your mind when you guys are developing this game. And that person is someone working in HR in a company that you want to hire you, right? So let's talk about that person for a little bit. So see if we can understand what that person is doing right now. So, first of all, they're not necessarily a gamer. They work in HR. Yes, they happen to work for a game company, but they work in HR, right? HR is a position that can be doing anything, anywhere. They can be doing stuff at the local office, doing it at a medical center, or do something like that, doing office work just as kind of a paper salesman company, whatever it may be, right? The HR job is pretty much the same across the board. So just because they happen to be at a game studio does not necessarily mean they are gamers themselves. So you can't make the assumption that they're going to know what's going on based upon, they're at a game studio. Of course they know how to play games. That's something that you cannot make. So we need to make sure we actually teach them how to play your game, what's going on in the game, in the actual game itself, because they're not going to read a manual ahead of time, right? They're not going to do a lot of studying ahead of time. That leads to the second point, is that they're busy people. They're not going to be sitting around there saying, let me read through all your guys' build notes, learn how to play the game. No, they're going to play the game and say, is this something I need to pass on to the designers or not? Yes or no? Done. I'm out of here, right? So that means they're going to be about 5 minutes with your game. And so it means in that first 5 minutes, you've got to wow them. You've got to make them say, wow, let's take this game and present it to the designers, so the designers can then actually play through the full game and determine whether or not they want to give this person an interview or not. So That is our core audience right there. That's who we need to be building this game towards, right? And so, while yes, you guys can be developing other stuff for an actual on-scale launch of the game, and some of the quality of the games I've been seeing there, I would recommend you guys do that. You guys do get that stuff out there and try to put that up there on itch.io or try to get it up on Steam or something along those lines for that purpose of having a launch game. That's 100% something I would recommend. But no matter what, even if you don't follow that route, you guys do need to make sure you guys are aiming this game towards that HR person, that first person that's going to be seeing your game at that company, trying to give you that job or trying to be someone that you need to get that job. So what does that mean? What does that mean we need to be doing here? Well, like I said earlier, we need to focus on the first thing. The first thing that's happened is we need to teach them how to play the game. When they're playing the game, we need to have a tutorial on not telling them how to play the game, and we need to tell them how to play the game relatively quickly. Now, it doesn't mean that we need to have a great big wall of text. That's not the goal here, but we do want to have it so that the game is moving, boom, 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 cool stuff, play the game, and teach them how to play the game as they're doing it, so that when they spent that first 5 minutes playing the game, they say, man, I want to keep on playing. I'm going to send this to the designers, and I'm going to keep on playing a little bit over here on my own. So we need to make sure that first 5 minutes of the game takes and just grabs hold of the player and says, okay, here's what our game is. Here's all the cool stuff you can do. Showcase it, really expand on it, and let them know what is going on. So that's the class in general. That's where I want to do this for the general, and that's what I want you guys to be focusing on the upcoming weeks here is getting your game done, working on the development of the actual game itself, but again, with that idea, through that lens that you are trying to impress that one person, that HR flunky somewhere in some studio that you want to get a job with. And again, remember what that HR person is all about. You need to make sure that they learn how to play the game, they actually enjoy playing the game, and they want to send that game on to the producer or on to a designer or on to later higher up the chain so that they will examine the game and again, ideally, give you that job offer eventually based upon this game. So, with all that being said, let's actually go through and do some playthroughs of the actual games themselves. So, as I said earlier, usually when I would do a playthrough like this, I would be doing a playthrough focused solely on a single game, spend 15 to 20 minutes talking about the game itself, playing the game itself, and then go from there, right? Each video will be, again, 15 to 20 minutes long. In this case here, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm going to go ahead and do a quick 5 minutes of gameplay. I'm probably going to miss a lot of stuff you guys not seen. I got the dev notes, build notes here in front of me, but I'm going to be missing things. We're going to talk about kind of what's going on there, and ideally, where you guys should be heading in the future, right? What you guys' general goals should be going forward from here. But you guys probably are going to also get feedback from your guys' last class, the GSI class. So take and combine all that information together, and then we'll continue on, start working on stuff this upcoming week for your guys' actual next turn in itself. So, with all being said, the very first game I have there is Salty Duck Studios, which is right there. And let's go ahead and just double tap that and launch the game. So, this game is again an interesting concept for playing for. You're playing as a shark, and you've got sharks with friggin' laser beams. So, very first thing that comes to mind is I'm playing this again. I'm playing that role, that HR flunky. Your game is very loud, right off the bat. And so loud at the point where I'm actually going to go in here and turn this stuff down so I don't have that blaring in my ears. So the next thing I'll talk about is when you are doing stuff in the audio, just in the audio, I need some reference so I know how loud this sound effect actually is. If I go and change this and whatnot, I'm not actually hearing anything with my change, so I have no idea what it is. Now granted, I can put my cursor over the back and get some information, yes, but that's not very obvious whenever I do that. Next up, whenever I adjust the audio, it becomes very obvious that by default the music is not actually set to 100% because when I move the tab a little bit, it gets louder. Even though it's at 100% and I move back, it got louder in my ears. So we need to make sure that the value that actually currently is actually the value the actual audio is set at. So I don't have a situation where I turn it way up or move it a little bit and actually turn it up instead of going down, and even though my intention was to move it down. So I'm going to turn things down a little bit so I can hear myself speak here. And so that's the first thing that always jumps out to me whenever I'm playing this game or when I'm playing these games like this, is check the audio levels and see what's going on there. So let's just go ahead and just press start in the game here. And here we are. So, talking about the idea of tutorialization, there's none of that really going on, right? We don't have anything telling us, okay, how to move the character, what's going on, how I'm doing any things. That's just not being referenced at all. Now, you do have some general information here saying, okay, keep swimming or take damage, but you don't really talk about too much about how to actually do the swimming and whatnot in the actual game itself. Now, another thing, since I'm complaining about audio, is the exploding fish audio is not being affected by the audio levels at all. So, I got my really quiet game going on here, then I got this loud fart in my ears every time I kill some guy. That is not ideal, right? That's nothing but annoying in that case. Talking more about the things that actually teach me how to play the game. I don't know anything about why I'm picking up these shark's teeth. The fact that I know they're shark's teeth is because I'm a nerd more than the fact it is told to me. So I don't have any idea why I'd be doing anything with these shark's teeth and what's going on there. Now, your level design itself so far has actually been doing a pretty good job of guiding me to where it is to be going there. It's letting me know, okay, head this direction, go from here. However, whenever I encountered this seaweed, the very first thing I did when I saw it was like, oh, that's a blocked area. I need to make sure I can get around that. And it's actually, I'm supposed to be swimming through it. But it definitely doesn't read very well as something I should be able to swim through by default. So try to work on that stuff when you guys are doing more aesthetic work to make it seem more something I actually can get through. Yeah, I got the starfish here being a jerk. So up until this point, the game has not been particularly bullet hell, and you introduce these starfish. There's a very much bullet hell mechanic, right? So it's the question I have at that point is, okay, what type of game is this? Is it supposed to be a bullet hell game? If it is, we need to be a bit more aggressive with the other projectiles. Is it not a bullet hell game? Okay, maybe you should be a little less aggressive with the starfish. And so the next question I want to talk to you, or next thing I want to bring up to you guys, is your control scheme. And namely, I want to ask you, what is a mouse used for? Not saying what is a mouse used for in your game, but what is a mouse used for in general? If you are playing on the computer, you're playing first-person shooter, you're doing anything on the hell. If you're using MS Paint, you use the mouse for a very specific purpose, and what is that purpose? And the answer is you use the mouse to point at things. It is a pointer. Right? That is the main purpose of the mouse. Yes, there are buttons on it, but the pointer is the important part of it, right? That's the thing that actually does. Screw in my ear. That's the thing that is actually very important about the mouse. You use the mouse as a pointer to point at a location, and then you happen to click on stuff. That's secondary, right? The important thing is the actual pointer and pointing itself. But you've got me using the mouse as a button, and that's it. That's a waste of the capability of the mouse. The mouse can do so much more, and you're just doing pointing with it, and that is it. Why would we do that, right? Why would we waste this awesome tool on something so remedial, something that's so unimportant to the actual ability of the tool itself? So I'd recommend you guys look into not using the mouse as that, right? Doing a using two hand on the keyboard, pressing spacebar to fire the projectiles, stuff along those lines, as opposed to requiring me to go over here and use the mouse, click. Because again, we're using a bazooka to hunt deer at that point, right? We're using a tool that's meant for one thing, for a completely different thing that is not required, not needed, and quite honestly, just not useful for that purpose. The keyboard's much better at pushing buttons than it is the mouse, and you're just not using the mouse to do anything you should be doing with it. And that's really pretty much about the amount I'm going to talk about with this game here, so we're not going to go too much more in depth. I said earlier, we're not going to do a huge in-depth deep dive in the game. I did do my first playthrough. Actually, was able to go a different route. I actually crouched to that barrel earlier, and so that was kind of cool. The dashing is interesting and cool. I definitely feel like the dashing should be one of those things where I can actually kind of speed up, especially some of these areas where there's longer distances. I feel like I can just do a full speed my entire way through. But the game is a concept interesting. I like the idea that you guys are doing through playing with it, where you can, have to be constantly moving, because that's what sharks do, right? Sharks have to be moving, stuff along those lines. So I like all that stuff. I think it's a cool idea going on there. Going forward, definitely want to work on your guys' level designs. Going to definitely work on tutorialization of your actual gameplay itself. Make sure that when you play through that first level, it teaches you everything you know about playing the game, not just not just hey, avoid being taking damage, but actually how to swim, how to do all this stuff, and then kind of give some ideas from there. Like I said, I'm still kind of confused as to the idea, is it supposed to be bullet hell or not? Kind of determine what it is you want to be doing with that route, and which route you want to be taking as far as it being a bullet hell game or not, and then go from there. But in general, I think the game is looking really good. I think you guys got a really good start here, and I'm happy to help you guys out if you have any questions or issues from there on out. Next up, the next game, let's see here. Let's see, it's Salty Duck, so we're going to jump over here to Triforce. So, I'm going to close that up. There's the right notes there. Yep, there we go. Close those build notes. We're going to take a look at Triforce build notes real quick. I didn't really run through the other ones that much, but yeah, so Triforce, let me just remember what's going on here. We got a video walkthrough, that's neat. So this is the platformer. And so the platformer I'm going to play through here. So we'll jump in Triforce and double tap the game and play. So I was tempted to mispronounce Triforce the entire phone. Trifor, oh awesome. Let's see here. So once again, I always go the opposite here. The opposite in this case does have a volume, and that's about it. But Again, I'm not really sure if it's actually changing anything. I have no reference letting me know that anything is changing or not. And in fact, I hear no background music, no background audio, anything along those lines. Let me know what is actually happening here. So I'll go ahead and just press jump and hit start and jump in there. So level start. You guys have already added a tutorial for the game here. So left and right, let me know what's going on. That's nice. I appreciate this. I use the space bar to jump in. Anytime I play a platform, this is the very first thing I always test whenever I'm playing a platform game, is, okay, if I tap the space bar, how high do I jump, versus if I hold the space bar, how do I jump? In your game, you jump the same height no matter what. And that's kind of a behavior you don't typically expect to see in classic platformers, right? Classic platformers have the idea that if I jump a little bit, if I tap it, I'm going to do a little jump, or if I hold it, I do a big jump, a longer jump. And so, doing it based like you have right here without having that multiple jump there, one thing that can be kind of problematic as you go through, I think it definitely can cause confusion from the game going forward with that. On top of that, I always like to check to see the actual parabola. If I just hold another button and see if I jump, and we see we do this classic parabolic arc, right? You know, if I don't have, you can't see my hand on the screen, so obviously because I'm sitting here and pointing at it, but you actually can determine the character is actually moving in a parabolic arc. However, if you look at a game like Mario, for example, and see how he jumps with that one, so Mario being the classic one of it, it is not a perfect arc. You will arc upwards, and then you will smash right down really fast, even though you're not doing the butt stomp. It actually will jump a lot, you'll go down a lot faster than you went up, and then do that parabolic arc because of that. And that's the behavior that people just got used to with that, and people really like the feel of that with the Mario games. So definitely be one thing I recommend you do, investigate into, and look into that if you see that's something you would be wanting to do anything with it. There's actually a whole bunch of there's actually a whole bunch of videos available on YouTube if you're curious about it. And like I said, if you want to know more about it, please let me know. I'll be happy to link one of those videos, give you guys some more information for those videos. So there I said I had to hold left shift while on the ground to charge up the super jump, and I did that. Then whenever I jumped, I wasn't jumping very well. And then just for some reason I seemed to like bounce and explode upwards very well. So I'm not really sure what happened there, why that worked or why that didn't work. But I'm definitely not... Okay, so it looks like I have to left shift and release it when I jump, and then the instructions didn't really explain about that. While on the ground to charge up super jump, they didn't really tell me how to use that. Then we got checkpoints, but I am standing here noticing that there is no audio in the game at all, and that's something that definitely need to be fixed and looked into. You guys do need to have audio in this game, and it doesn't need to be actual, honest to God, full-on sound effects. Just someone going jump, jump, jump. All right, we heard the last game, the guy was screaming cockatoo in my ear. That's fine, right? Just having it so you can place it in there, so when you do get some decent audio, you can drop that in there, and all it is just changing volume and calling it good. So moving stuff up here, I think it's all right. I do kind of get concerned when I see a jump like this. That seems like there's an very, very little headroom to get through there. Now, granted, I'm able to get through there, it's no problem, but it does seem like that's just pin things a little bit tight in that situation. You start taunting me here about don't falling down, dropping down. I'll drop down if I wanted. So there. Yeah. Hopefully you drop down there and find out. I did drop down and find out. Not possible. So your game starts mocking me because I'm terrible at the game at that point. So continuing on there, more checkpoints, more lava. And so the thing that I always get concerned of whenever I see these long jumps like this is making sure I actually can make it without having to be pixel perfect each time. And you guys have actually done a very good job of that. Now, if you do adjust your jump, what I talked about earlier, if I guess you would do the slower jump or faster fall, that will be something you need to adjust your actual gameplay for when you do that. So you'll be aware of that being an issue. And here we have the slide kick. Oh, there is audio there. All right, so I do have some audio in the game. It's just not everywhere. So I have the slide tackle there, and there we are. Now, this does come up to one of those questions I was very curious about whenever I was playing the game earlier. So I've got health, I took damage, and I lost health. That's good, that's great. We have a health-based system. Then I walk over here, and I instant die. So what's the point of health, then? If I'm going to have some things that instant-kill me, some things that don't instant-kill me, that just causes confusion for the player at that point, right? What is this? This thing I can take the damage? Can I take the hit here, or can I not take the hit? Because you may be at a situation where you have to strategically decide to take damage, get past something, but if the player says, I don't know if I can take that damage or not, then that decision can't be made to them until they actually screw up and do that first death. For example, this being a good example here, okay, there's spikes all over this, but I've got a health bar, I got a full health bar. So that means I could take one hit on that spike and be able to get through there, and so I can just kind of drop down here, get hit, and then, oh, whoops, no, instant death. Well, why is that instant death, whereas everything else up to that point has not been instant death? And by everything else, I mean the bullets hitting the other guy. If I jump over here and just rub against that guy, that's instant death as well. So, what is it, only attacks cause that reduce health? I mean, the rules are not explained, are not very well explained to the player to know what is going on there. Shift and jump. There's a specific area I do want to get to before I follow your guys' game. So I'm trying to bust my butt over there. Whoops. Okay, so that's another interesting thing there. So I died, and when I died, I still had the momentum, or when I respawned, I still had the momentum I had when I was live. That caused me to jump off that prematurely, it felt like. So, yeah. Alright, this is the area I wanted to get to before I call your game done here. So, first of all, whenever I start doing that, where I attach the wall there and start climbing, then if I tap, I go fast. I go way too fast. There shouldn't be adding more to it like it is. It seems like it's adding more and more to the actual velocity itself. It keeps stacking on, and that, like I said, makes things go too fast. Next up is this jump right here, and I kept doing that. And when I played this earlier, this was the death of me, because I go up here, bounce, hit the top, and at that point in time, I no longer am touching the wall apparently, and I can't actually do the climb anymore. I don't know if it's something that's going on if I'm touching the ceiling or if it's the fact that I'm touching the floor. Either way, once I touch that object above me there, I am unable to continue on. And it gets very frustrating. Next up, we got that jerk sitting up there above me, just doing nothing but just killing me every time. So, he is just a big jerk. And that's all there is to it. But the thing that you've done here is you penalize me to the point where I cannot go and get that platform now. I can't get that checkpoint. So, even though I've made the challenge, I've gotten up here, which was a lot harder the first time than it should be, I can't get to this checkpoint. Because I can't get to this checkpoint, when I die, because I'm not paying attention, so, come on, jump. There we go, dead. I go back here to before, even though I should have gotten that checkpoint and should have been able to get to it, because you guys laid up the level to penalize me for that. So, I don't know what I did to make you guys so angry. I'm sorry. And I'll be better, but that definitely should not be that case there. That you can't do that. You guys have got these soft platforms, so I can travel through going one way, but I can't go through the other way. Is also frustrating and annoying as a player. As a designer, I can see the point of why you would want to do that, but as a player, it does definitely get kind of frustrating when you do stuff like that. And then finally, we have that jump there, which is what I want to end it on. That's what I call a leap of faith. I had no way of knowing what was below me. So I walked off that ledge saying, okay, I hope I'm okay, and I fell into a lava pit. So I took a leap of faith, trusting you as a designer not to put something down there to fuck me over. Apologize. Something down there to mess me up, and there you go, you went and killed me like that as well, right? So it's one of those things you definitely shouldn't be doing stuff like that. I probably had to go through and bleep that. I do apologize. If you guys are offended by swearing, I'm going to probably drop swears going through this anyway. It's not intention to you. It's just that's my language. I do apologize if you are offended by that. If you are offended by it, let me know and I'll stop. I'll try to make sure I be much more careful with my language. But as I said there, that definitely was a situation where I, as a game player, trust you, and as a designer, you said, nope, don't trust me. I'm going to mess you up, and you shouldn't do stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one out and go to the next one here. And the next one we have is Bionic Spawn. And so I don't know if you guys have created your character's name, but in my mind his name is now Dirk Justice Bionic Spawn. And Dirk Justice is a cool guy. He has a long history of adventures and had a lot of cool experiences before he became the Bionic Spawn. But you know what? We're not going to talk about that. That's not his story. So, Dirk Justice Bionic Spawn. That is this one here. And we'll go ahead and launch that and give it a play. So this one right off the bat here, I was very impressed with your quality of your guys' actual assets themselves. I'm assuming this is stuff that you guys managed to procure off the Play Store, get something along those lines. If it's something that you guys did create on your own, then we need to talk about where you guys are going with your life, because you may not be a situation where the game design track is one you should be looking for. You guys can put this together on your own so quickly that you may want to actually do something more along the lines of the art track as well. But you know, the game is looking really decent already. Got a gray box out level. We were apparently in a prison, but they did not actually worry about doing things like getting rid of the vents. It's like, yeah, we'll just leave it open here. Well, on the honor system, he won't walk through. Oh, damn you, Dirk Justice, you walked through. but I'm able to go through there. So we got my character running around, running and jumping, and just doing, sci-fi things. Now, this is a classic issue that we run into. That if you play very many first-person, third-person shooters, you'll notice this happens all the time, where the doors in these games are huge and oversized. Right? They're not the size of actual doors. This is an honest-to-God door. Right? This is what a door would look like. But as I go through it, I end up having that issues with the camera that we're just running into there. And that's why, like I said, you'll see in a lot of games that there is an actual oversized giant monster door which you never see in real life. That is why they do that. So it should be a simple fix for you guys to go through and get that avoided, but to avoid that issue with that thing running into there. And so then the next thing I notice here is that Dirk just gives no craps about your puny landmines. Landmines for lesser men. So, yes, I go through there. I see, there's something I can grappling hook to. Now, the first time through there, I didn't just blow up the mines like a jerk and ignore all your guys' hard work. You guys did put an alternate route over here that I could have taken, but, as I said, Dirk Justice lives his life a quarter mile at a time, and he doesn't listen to your million-mine concerns. I am very confused, though. Whenever I was playing through, and I know you guys gave me the notes I could be able to press 2 to swap weapons, I've obviously got a cool pistol on my hand. And so for something like that landmine experience there, I was like, well, I can just use the pistol and pop, to get rid of it. But no, I can't do that. And Dirk Justice uses his grappling hook to get around here. Dirk Justice does not speak about himself to anything but third person. So the phase ability, it kind of confused me, and it also seems to be a situation that you guys could run into issues with it if you're not very careful. So I knew I needed to phase the area because you outright told me, hey, phase this area. But if I'm just playing through the game and I walk in this area and I don't see that, I'm not going to think immediately, hey, let's phase and go around that. Or I'm going to be trying to use the phase a lot more because I think that's the answer I need to be finding for other stuff and not. So, for example, here, well, should I phase, see if there's something there? Or not, right? And I end up wasting that ability a lot because of that. And it's got a timer on it, so I don't really know. Don't really know if I should or not. That was weird. Did I just... I can walk down it. Okay. So by jumping... Yeah. By jumping on it, I just kind of ice skate down and pull a Legolas on the skateboard. Aha! Dirk Justice got a bionic point. So another thing we're running into here, notice that your ceilings are a bit too low. If I go here, I got so you should be able to get around that by actually having the camera be latching to the ceiling whenever it does a kind of collision with the ceiling. That was weird. Is that a Z fighting going on there, or is that a load? So this one here caused me a lot of confusion the first time I encountered it, right? So this platform is well within my range to mantle. I've mantled on higher stuff than this, but I can't mantle on that at all. Now, I'm supposed to press F and phase, and actually makes it higher, makes it harder to jump on. Yet, I'm able to then mantle up on that. Maybe. I was earlier. Come on, Dirk, you're embarrassing me. Okay, I was able to mantle on this before. Apparently I'm not able to mantle on it now. That's interesting. Anyway. That blowing up my ear. The point being that it definitely seems like I should be able to mantle on that, and I'm not able to mantle on that, and I don't know why. Here we are in the gun range, where we can actually shoot at things. And like I said, 2-cycle weapons. I've been pressing 2 the entire time here, and I got, obviously I've got a cool pistol, but I can't actually use the cool pistol. Dirk Justice is also apparently a giant. Hey! Ah! They want revenge. And so, with all the low-hanging, so you guys got a cool level here all laid out, all pretty and whatnot, but with the low ceilings and the low doors, it definitely is causing havoc with your controller, with your camera controller here. Also, you notice I can see through walls, which I don't know if that's one of Dirk Justice's magical powers, but it does seem to be a situation where I can kind of abuse that if it's not something you intend to be doing. And yes, I know for the fact that it's probably not your character's name, but it amuses me, and I'm amused now, so that's the important part for me. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and call that good here. But that's, the game is looking really good. I think you guys got some cool ideas going on with the game itself. Game definitely looks very pretty, right? You guys got a lot of effort. Again, I'm curious if you guys bought the assets, or you got someone else make the assets for you, or if you made them yourself. That's a very, very interesting thing for me. And like I said, the game looks very good because of that. Definitely didn't really get into a lot of combat going through this, obviously, but it does seem like there was an awful lot of kind of flailing on my part whenever I was fighting those guys. Double jump. Let's get the double jump here. So I got the double jump, and I can't double jump. You guys do mention this in your build notes where I have to murder myself in order to get the double jump to actually work. That's a bug that definitely should be looked into fixing, because I don't want to kill myself, and I really don't see any easy way of killing myself here. But to go outside, look for them to die on, and that's just not fun. Anyway, so that would be the Bionic Spawn. Again, I think the game looks really good. Going forward from this point, I think you guys definitely should look into some of your level design themselves. Make sure you make your levels, design the levels such that they actually work with the technology you currently have, or adjust your technology so it works better with the actual small doorways and low ceiling stuff along those lines as well. So, moving on here, the final game being Cyber Raven Studios, which, what did you call this? Because it had a sweet name for it. Now I'm feeling bad here. Cyber Raven Studios, jump in the game. I just got to do that to get the sweet name out there. Cyber Raven Studios, there he is. And sweet name, Portrait of Souls, there we go. So, that's not the... So, that's right. I want to show this case because I want to press back, or I want to press escape or whatnot, but I hit the 3 turn buttons itty bitty down here. Obviously, you guys got some issues going on with your control, with your resolution, it looks like. There we are, volume. Once again, I have no control of the actual volume. I have no idea what the actual volume may be. Low and high. I don't think I did that with the last game, but it was pretty loud in my ears, so I'm going to just throw that up there. And then we're just going to run through and do a quick playthrough guys game here. So with this game, you guys are doing a rail-based shooter, right? And the game looks very good for that aspect of, for that part of it. It does look and feel very rail-based shooter. Obviously, like Time Crisis and whatnot. Seems like that was a pretty big inspiration for you guys. And it feels like I feel very Time Crisis playing the game. Time Crisis, House of the Dead, stuff along those lines. The gun overheats very fast, especially when I have situations like that where I've got them throwing bullets, throwing things at me that I'm able to block, and then be able to actually hit around it, whatnot. I feel like I should have, again, talking about Time Crisis. Time Crisis had the ability to kind of take cover and dodge and whatnot. That'd be nice to do. And I do not have the ability to do that with this game. Gnomes. So I've got these cool abilities over here on the left. I don't know what they do, right? I mean, I got that one. That one's pretty obvious, right? Exploding fireball. That one does a decent job letting me know what it does by just kind of when I do it the first time. But press 3 looks like a shield, and I think it actually is the shield logo from Marvel. And then I got 4, which I don't know, and I got 1, which I don't know. So I'm not really sure what those abilities are and what they actually do for me. So there's actually a shield. But yeah, the point here being that I should not have to actually test this stuff out. It should be one of those things that you get told to you throughout the gameplay. Again, we want to make sure that we give the player a tutorialized experience, so they know what's going on. Try to ambush me. I fail my fireball attack. It's like really bad. I need to shield to protect myself. I just kind of stood there. I feel really bad. I mean, you guys aren't doing anything. So the portraits, the things you need to collect. Seem like that would be a much bit more. If it wouldn't stand out nearly as much when you're not doing your game in a gray box. Sorry. So whenever I'm doing the slow, the quiet gameplay like this, that's actually a pretty good sign. The game is doing a very good job of keeping me enthralled, making sure I'm focusing on things that need to be done, and it plays very well. It plays like a very good, what am I saying? Jerks. It plays like a good rail-based shooter. So I think you guys have done a good job there. You guys have definitely done a fine job on that aspect of it. Definitely the tutorialization, teaching the player what's going on there, letting you know what it is they need to be doing. And then some feedback is definitely going to be given to the player as well. So I didn't realize I was low on health until I just died there. And because I'm focusing so much on the actual scene itself in front of me as opposed to the world around me and not really knowing what's what as I'm playing through. So that's some things that you should look into. All in all, however, the game is looking really good. I think you guys have got a fine job on that. So definitely playing in silence right now. So let's get some audio cues in there. And that's going to add quite a bit to the game. Audio cues of stuff, raw I'm attacking, raw I'm not attacking, whatnot, so I can see what's going on there and go from there. On top of that, I feel like a dodge ability, a la time press, would be very useful in that situation. Whenever I am doing the overheating or something along those lines, I need to wait for it to whatnot, to be able to actually avoid damage or reduce damage coming my way at least. So, even I'm not just, constantly trying to figure out some way of avoiding death all the way through. The game looks really good, guys. I think you guys done a good job on the actual rail-based aspects of it. The game is actually playing very well for stuff coming at you. So that's all looking very good. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So all in all, good job, guys. Now then, if you look on your schedules on FSO, you'll notice a little special thing coming up this week where we have summer break off, right? We have summer break, which is the 4th of July week off. And so what that's going to mean, so the actual turn-in date for the class itself is showing up being on Sunday night. Right, Sunday at the end of this week, right? And then we do a playthrough on Monday. What I'm going to do for you guys is that you guys are going to give you and you can't do that, right? I can't do a playthrough on Monday usually, right? I'm not going to give you guys full feedback on Monday. What I will do instead is on Sunday night, you guys submit your build, then you guys got the week off. You choose to do whatever it is you want to do during that week. I'll provide you guys a written email feedback on Monday. It's a quick write-up of what played the game, what I thought went well, what I thought didn't work well, and go from there. You guys then have the week to do whatever it is you want. I would recommend you guys don't just stop working on the game altogether. I recommend you guys do continue to work on the game, do more stuff for the game, and the reason I would say that is because as you guys are working on the game, if you guys just take the break off, say we're done, we're not going to do anything the entire week, we're just going to take the entire time off. When you come back the week after, you guys have got a lot of momentum lost. And so trying to catch back up and get back up to speed is going to be a lot more challenging that way. So that's why I'd recommend you guys actually spend the time during that week to actually, put some time and effort into the game, put a little bit of work in the game. Now, guys, I'm not saying don't spend time with your family and whatnot, and I can't actually order you guys to do this. I can't require you guys doing this stuff. But I definitely recommend you guys do take some time off during that time. Do put some work towards your game during that time, as well as taking time off. Both, try to do both. Then, come next Monday, so the Monday after the break, I'll do another playthrough on the actual game itself. I'm going to give you guys an actual video feedback on the game itself. Now then, what that means, or what that's going to translate to for you guys, is that if you did do work during the break, and you have your build in by that Monday morning 9 a.m., and then I'll actually be able to play test that one and give feedback on that version you guys worked on during that week. So, they give you guys up to the latest feedback if you want to. If you guys have not submitted that stuff, I'll be giving you feedback on the build that have gone up, the last build that gone up there, the one that was due on Sunday, the week before, so it may not be up to date, right? I may give you guys some feedback on games that you've already seen, or stuff you've already seen. So, be aware of that, so when you guys are doing that, your turn-ins for that stuff, and we'll go from there. Alright? And that's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions or issues, please let me know. Other than that, you guys take care, and I'll talk to y'all later.